Hello, everyone. It's your girl, Regina Sunshine, coming to you from the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. And yes, that is my personal theme song, Bad Mama Jamma. You hear playing in the background. We hadn't played it since we've been out here in Douglasville. You always heard it when I did the Regina Sunshine Show on Instinct Radio. So we thought we'd bring back a little Bad Mama Jamma to make everybody feel good, because I don't know about y'all, but I feel real good when I hear the song. Y'all feel good when y'all hear the song? Yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. Hopefully I won't get distracted by my phone over here, Christine. You know how I do. Well, again, welcome to the Regina Sunshine Show here at the Regina Sunshine Global Network. Got a little sweat action going on over here. We have had an amazing day. I have to say, if you didn't tune in this morning, Miss Barbara Baylor had her, I think it was our third live dance class here. And they had a good time. That's why we're rushing in between shows, because normally my show would have been at 7 p.m. So we got a little time, but we got Miss Barbara's show now at 10 a.m., Regina Sunshine Show at 12. Then we'll have Focus Forward with Robin Shockley from Greenville, South Carolina, who is on her way right now at 5 p.m. And then tonight, we're going to have Team Bride Tribe. We're going to have the pre-launch to the game show that everybody's so excited about. So we're going to have a little pre-launch mixer. Come out and meet our host, Jason J. Boy Carey from IBNX Radio, iHeartRadio. You've seen him on the Tom Joyner Cruise at Essence Festival. He's the host. We're so excited. Come meet our team captains, Michelle English and Cindy Brooks. Come meet the founder of Regina Sunshine Global Network. I'll be here too, as well as Miss Barbara's going to be back doing some line dancing. So there's going to be food. Our food sponsor, Carrabba's, should be in the building, feeding our people. Isn't that good? Did y'all hear what I said? Carrabba's. If you don't come for anything else with that, come on out here from 7 to 8 tonight. We're at 4040 Chapel Hill Road, Suite T in Douglasville, Georgia. So that is the lineup right now for Mondays. We got a new game show that's going to be starting next month. And we're touring around with the idea of this What Men Think show. Bring a panel of men on and women in the audience being very quiet. And there's a reason I say that, because when we had the men here last week, they said they would only be willing to do this show if the women would not take over the conversation. They said, because we always take over the conversation. So when we announce this show, ladies, I want y'all to come prepared to take some notes and listen while the men are talking, as opposed to talking while they're talking. Because they said that would be their only reservation for doing this show. They said the moment they start talking, the women take over and they're not heard anymore. So it's going to be called What Men Think for a reason, because we want to hear from the men. So you guys stay tuned for that. We're excited about that show that's coming as well. So I do want to mention we have three amazing guests today, Miss Lynn Toy Bailey, Miss Roblyn McDuffie, and Dr. Yvette McQueen. And they're already here in the building, just waiting to share their stories, their lives, their purpose with you. But I do want to give you a couple other announcements. For those who don't know, I am the editor-in-chief of Bold Plus Magazine, a division of Bold Favor Media Group. Bold Favor Magazine has been Atlanta's hottest magazine for a couple years, you know. Our founder, Lanita Mitchell Blackwell, is doing the thing. Let's just say that. And I took over as the editor-in-chief of Bold Plus Magazine in December. And right now we are setting the pace. My social media director, Christine Gardner, is producing the show. Also, our station manager here at Regina Sunshine Global Network. But we put together a tremendous team. Our January issue with Tamika Georgia Me Harper on the cover has over 53,000 impressions on issue.com. I did say 53,000 on issue.com the last time we checked a couple weeks ago. We hadn't checked since then. So we are setting the pace right now. We'll be having our fall cover release event this Saturday from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time at JR Crickets, MLK, that's downtown. I think it's 886 Martin Luther King Drive Northwest in Atlanta. Our cover, well, first of all, Christine, have we seen the cover?
Yes.
I think this is our best cover yet, y'all. Awesome. It's so dope. It's so dope. Oh, anyway, our cover model is none other than comedian Miss Jen, who just came off the road opening up for Cat Williams. Amazing, on the rise female comedian, and she has an organization called Big Girl Nation. And I was her keynote speaker at her launch event, and after, just seeing what she's doing in terms of representing the big girls out here and doing some tremendous things, we wanted to make her the cover. And when I say the photo shoot was so dope, we had a hard time picking the pictures. But when y'all see this cover, y'all will know why she's on the cover for our fall issue. So we're rounding out our first full year, Christine. We made it. Doing Bold Plus magazine. A big shout out again to Lanita Mitchell Blackwell, because when she asked me to take over that project, and I'm sharing this for, I don't know who this is for, but I didn't want to do it because I was afraid. And my rule in life is if I'm afraid of something, I have to do it. The moment I recognize that fear has anything to do with my decision, I have to do it, whatever it is. So, yes, you too? I
said that was for me.
That was for you? Okay. And so when Anita told me, I said, well, I don't want to do it because I'm afraid, so I have to do it. And again, you know, I've run, you know, radio shows. I probably started 40 different radio shows, you know, coaching people. I'm a math teacher by profession. I'm an engineer by education. Done some of everything except run a magazine. And she told me, I believe in you and you can do it. And we have found our way along the way. And I want to give a shout out to my team. Again, my social media director, Christine Gardner, our writers, Robin Shockley with the Focus Forward with Robin column, Clarissa Partlow with the Finding My 50 Plus Life column, the whole Bold favorite team, Tinsley Bradford, Tina Bridges, David Good, Brianna Screen Lewis. Thank you to everybody who's been a part of this project and has made it so easy. And I'll say easy, it hasn't been easy, but it made it easy for me to step into this role and to excel because you guys have had my back, and I thank you. So join us at the cover release. Since we're talking about Bold Plus, we're going to Cuba next year, y'all. So if y'all want to travel with the Bold Plus team to Cuba, you can go to Facebook and look for Bold Plus 2019 Cuba Cruise, and you search for it, you'll find it. You don't have to be a plus size person. It's just the Bold Plus family going to Cuba, and whoever wants to go with us can. So my family's going. Normally we take a one cruise a year anyway, so we just shifted our family cruise over to, you know, the Bold Plus cruise. So hey, get your people together. Let's go to Cuba together. Right now it's one of the most popular international travel destinations. They say especially for single women. I thought that was interesting. A lot of single women are going to Cuba. So definitely come with us. We would love to have you with us. And I think that's it for Bold Plus. Now, if you didn't know, because I haven't said a lot about it, I've been so bogged down with other stuff, and I got to revamp it. The third week in November is what we call Regina Sunshine Curvy and Confident Empowerment Week. And we did our first Empowerment Week last year, 5 days of events that we culminated with an award show and fashion show. Well, the award show this year is November the 17th, right here at Studio T, you know, the house of Regina Sunshine Global Network. And our host for the event will be none other than comedian Miss Jen. We got some amazing performers, JJ Day. Y'all know JJ Day, that girl, Black Dynamite. One of my favorite independent artists will be in the building performing, along with some other people. So look out for the final details. But what I do need to say is this will be our 4th annual Awesome Girl Awards. And if you have a girl from ages 5 to 17 that is excelling in whatever her gifting is, if she's an artist, an entrepreneur, maybe she's an inventor, she's a musician, she's academically gifted, whatever her area of gifting is, reach out to me at thereginasunshine@gmail.com, nominate her and tell me why you believe she's an awesome girl. Like I said, this is our 4th year doing it. We do it along with the Curvy and Confident Awards. It is the favorite thing, other than the Young Boss Awards for the boys, it is the favorite thing I do all year because we are able to bless these girls in such a tremendous way. So ages 5 to 17, email me at thereginasunshine@gmail.com. Send me her name, her picture, and tell me why you believe she's an awesome girl. Let's get her on the stage on November the 17th. All right? I think that's it. I mentioned, yes, everything. Well, I do want to go to the break, as I go to every first break, talking about something I'm thankful for. And I'm not going to cry today. Did I say that already? That's probably I'm going to cry. But I had an opportunity last night to be ministered to by a gentleman that we have been trying to get on the phone for over a month to talk about him coming to be on my show. And it's so interesting how God divinely appoints a time for something to happen, because the moment he got on the phone, he began to minister to me about not retaliating against people that have hurt you. And I got into this space over the weekend where, and I talked to and I can be very transparent because I hope this helps you guys. There are things that you overcome that God delivers you from that if you're not careful, you will find yourself falling back into because of circumstances and situations in your life. And this particular situation had got me into a space where I'd already begun thinking about all the negative things I wanted to happen to this person because of what had happened to me. And when Martin, voice of triumph out of Columbia, South Carolina, he's on the radio there. When Martin got on the phone, he began to speak to me about vengeance being the Lord's and just stepping back and allowing God to handle situations. Romans 12:19, I'm telling you, he blessed me. He didn't even know he was sharing his personal testimony. And as soon as he began to talk, I knew it was divinely for me. And so I'm thankful that God loves us so much. He will delay a phone call. He will orchestrate everything just the way it needs to be to get the word to you that you need so that you don't fall out of your blessing. And make sure you catch it so you don't, because you can remove your, we're always so quick to say the enemy has done this to me or the enemy is after me. And sometimes our personal decisions and the things that we have done, we put our own self in a position where we fall out of blessing and we remove ourselves from God's cover. And we don't ever want to be from under his cover. So I'm thankful today he loves me enough to send Martin to speak that word to me. All right? So we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, who's up first? Lynn Toy Bailey will be here talking about strut. Y'all want her to strut? Was she? We had to have her strut. Yeah, just because the word is strut. You're live here at Regina Sunshine on the Regina Sunshine Show. Where? At Regina Sunshine Global Network.
Daylight sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your code. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius. Find a balance. Libra. Get rid of y'all's crab mentality.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show. Where? Regina Sunshine Global Network. And I'm so excited to introduce you guys to a new sponsor on the network. Welcome to the show, Lynn Toy Bailey.
Hey, thank you. I'm glad to be here. I'm so glad to be here.
You look so good in red. Is that like your favorite color?
It's not actually green, but I don't wear it very often, but green is my favorite color.
Yeah, that red is working for you. It is.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Well, I always like to mention how I met someone, and I met you originally at Tina Bridges'. What was the name of that fashion show?
It was was it the one that was the 40 and over?
Yes, it was her TLA 40 and over fashion show, and you were there as a vendor, and I had the opportunity to meet you, and since then we've met, and we're working on some stuff together. So do this. Tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Lynn Toy Bailey. Toy Cherie is my name for modeling. And my nickname, that's what my family calls me, Toy, so that's what I go by most of the time. I'm actually a nurse by trade. Been that for 15 years, but I've always had a passion for fashion, clothing, shoes. I'm a shoe hound, and kind of got into modeling at an earlier age, did a little bit of it, dibbled and dabbled, and moved here to Atlanta. I've been here for about 10 years. And I started out, someone asked me to model in a fashion show, and it kind of took off, and I've done that for the past 2 or 3 years, but still was inspired by a friend of mine, C. Denham, and he kind of was like, if you had your own line, what would you call it? And I said strut, because that's what I do. I'm going to strut. And I turned it into an acronym, which means strength, talent, refine, unique tenacity. I believe those are all the characteristics that a woman needs, and if she can get a hold of all of those, then, she's solid, and, she can do whatever. Sky's the limit. So that's how Strut became what it is. And I've been putting clothes together and designing and styling different people, styling friends, and it's doing its thing. It's taking off. It's blossoming. So I'm excited to move forward with it and work with you all, and trying to do a Strut Fit line, because I have lost 52 pounds in the past year. So that struggle. I love being a beautiful plus size woman. I don't desire to be anything but plus size, but I want to be the healthiest me that I can possibly be. So diet and exercise, and I still think you're supposed to look good in the gym. So so I have to come out with a line of clothing that we can work out in, and that mainly is geared for us plus size women to wear in the gym. Everything is so small and skimpy and petite. We can have the same thing. You just gotta. It's a bigger package, but. Yeah. It still got to be wrapped up cute.
I like it. It's a bigger package. It still has to be wrapped up.
It still
cute.
has to be wrapped
like
up really
that.
pretty.
Well, let's go back to where you started, nursing. How did you get into the healthcare field?
I really don't know. I've always loved people and just had a passion for taking care of people. So in high school, that's what it was. I'm going to school for nursing. Didn't really say nursing in the beginning. I actually said I wanted to be a pediatrician.
Okay.
And then it turned to nursing. And after I did a rotation in the pediatric unit, I decided that wasn't for me. I decided I'm going to stick with the adults. So I've done all types of nursing. I worked for the University of Kentucky for 5 years, and then I divorced and moved here, and worked for Gwinnett Medical for years, and now I work for Kaiser Permanente, and I am an endocrinology nurse. So I work with diabetics all day, and that's my heart. I absolutely love trying to get people to focus on diet again, and exercise, and being healthy, and
Yes.
Doing what they need to do to just maintain. It doesn't have to be a life sentence because you're a diabetic, or
Yes.
because you have a thyroid problem or whatever. So that's my focus every day, and been doing that for about 3 years now. So total about 15 years in nursing.
That's awesome. The reason I wanted to ask you about that is because I'm finding more and more people are in pursuit of a career, but also a separate passion. And so it's great to hear from people who do have that duality in life, so that those that are watching and trying to figure out how
Yeah, right.
can make it work. So you talked about, being in the healthcare field and then having the opportunity to begin modeling.
Right.
So when that was first presented to you, and let me back up. One thing Atlanta has done for me is open up my eyes in terms of the modeling world.
Right.
I haven't been to a lot of fashion shows, but I've been to a few. And I remember the first fashion show I went to here was one of, I can't remember the name of it, the Eye Candy fashion show that Denim was a part of.
Right.
And he'd invited us out, and it was the first time that I realized in Atlanta that models are all shapes and sizes.
Oh, yes.
When you look at it on television, there's a very narrow view, but you go to fashion shows in Atlanta and you find out that's not what it is. That you can see anybody, any height, any size on the runway, and it's a very encouraging space to be in. So when you got asked the first time to strut,
I was like, really, me? I had posted, I have a group of friends called Fabulous and Thick that I joined years ago. It actually was started through Monique, the comedian. And she had her own show and was auditioning different people or whatever. So we formed this big group, and we travel all around. Some of them model professionally, and others just do dibble and dabble. So we had did some group pictures in Florida, and the pictures turned out beautiful. We had a photographer. He came down and shot us. Shout out to Silas. And one of the pictures was just really, really pretty of me. And I actually posted it, and then that's what came. People started coming at me, you should model, you should do this. Good Life, model management, Calvin Johnson actually asked me to do. He actually asked me, you should be, you know, a part of the Full Figured Fashion Week that I'm having. That was for a few years ago, and I was like, really, me? And he was like, yeah, you should come out and audition. He started sending me all these flyers. You should come out. And then I was like, you know, let me just give it a shot, you know. So I got dressed up and I went out there and I was shaking in my heels. I was shaking. I was so nervous. Actually, I don't know if you are familiar with Nikki Nicole.
Yes.
Okay. She was there at the time, and she kind of coached me through it. She's a beautiful person, and she's bad. She's one of the baddest walk-in models I've ever seen. So she was there, and she was like, you know, you have what it takes. Just, you know, calm down, and, you know, just let's do this. She walked with me for a couple times, and I walked by myself, and I just knew I was in love with the whole thing then. So it just took off after that. I've done several shows. I've been to New York Fashion Week. I just came back from New York Fashion Week. I didn't walk this year. I was a spectator, but I got to go to several different shows, and I just had a great time. So
yes, Nikki was our curvy and confident fashion honoree last year. Awesome. And when I tell you, when we called her to the first, she had a cape, y'all. She started from here and walked. Well, she walked all the way around. She did a slow stroll to the stage, honey. I hope we got that on film somewhere because it was so beautiful to see the cape.
I know it was.
Flapping in the wind and her doing her thing. Yes.
She can make anything look fabulous.
Honey, yes.
You can put her in a burlap sack and she's going to make that thing
look
fabulous. So, yeah, so that was inspiration. And then Calvin, you know, pushing me, and everybody's like, yeah, you can do it. And, you know, the first time I hit it, that catwalk, it was amazing. So I just kept doing it. So,
it's different. I'll tell you that at Tina's last event, the Women of Honor, I was one of the speakers. Well, I was the keynote speaker, and every time somebody would come up, they make you walk the. And so I went up there and I walked in real fast and went back. And the whole, what was his name? James Thompson was like, no. You can. So I had to turn around and walk it again before they would let me start doing it.
Yeah, everybody walks really fast.
Yes.
With their head down, like, they just want to get down here.
I'm thinking about my talk. I'm trying to get to the microphone because I'm ready to deliver. And so, but you really have to take a pause and hit that thing. So I said, the next time I'm going to be ready because I know that's what they expect. I didn't expect that. I was just trying to get to the microphone. But it lets you know it takes a lot of courage.
It does.
To do that. That's not as easy as people think.
No, it's not. It's not easy
at all.
I mean, you got a lot going on in your head. You know, you got the lights. You're trying to make sure you get the lighting is right. You're trying to make sure your picture's right. You're trying to make sure your face is just right. And it's just a lot going on. And you don't fall. That is the main thing. We say a prayer before we step out there. That first step out. Just don't let me fall down. I just don't want to fall. But it becomes second nature after a while. You just kind of just get out there and do it and bring the clothes to life, you know, the designers, and that's what we do.
Let's talk about strut. So you and I sat down a little while ago, and we talked about you sponsoring Miss Barbara Baylor's line dance class.
That's right.
Shout out again to Miss Barbara. So she's our instructor, so she's going to be wearing your strut gear. Tell us about the line in terms of what you offer.
It's ready-to-wear clothing. For mainly plus size, but I will dress anybody from a size 0 to a 32. I will dress you. But mainly focusing on plus size women, ready to wear comfortable clothing that is versatile. I like, you know, nice skirts and tops and stuff that's interchangeable and that you can take from day to night. You know, I'm at work, I'm corporate, you know, take off my jacket, put them on tennis shoes, and then I'm ready for the street. So that's pretty much the focus of the line. With Strut Fit, which we'll be launching soon, with you all in the line dance class. And hopefully I'll join y'all. Dance is my other passion, honey. I love to cut a rug. So hopefully I'll join y'all for one of the classes, and I'm looking forward to y'all wearing the strut gear. It's just distressed tees, comfortable leggings, and I'm gonna get into doing some more designing of different styles and cuts on the leggings and stuff like that. So we'll be cute and do our little dancing at the same time.
Well, we thank you so much for partnering with us here, Regina Sunshine Global. It's always great when women can get together and push our brands forward and show the world that we are not who y'all say we are. We can work together. We do love each other. That stuff y'all see on those reality shows, that ain't real.
It's not.
That's not real.
No,
we all got girlfriends that we've had for most of our lives that have our backs and love us and don't throw water in our faces when we have meals. I just want to say
those ain't real friends that you see on those reality shows. That's fake news.
It is.
It's fake news.
It is. So. Well, what is your vision for where Strut is going?
Oh, the sky's the limit for Strut. I just really wanted to get it out there for every woman to wear, and just with it, it has a message, that of empowerment. I believe that women are strong. I believe we are the strongest. Men won't admit to that, but we are. We're stronger than they are. They know it. And that we can just do whatever it is that we desire to do in our life. You can flip it. You can do, or you can, play both sides of the field, whatever you want to do. You just got to have that ambition and a few good people on your team, and you can make some things happen.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that balance I mentioned earlier, the balance between career and family and business. How are you as a career woman and an entrepreneur able to find that balance?
I don't know. I work on a little bit of sleep.
That's my answer. Ask me.
Honestly,
I'm not sleeping right now. Can't help you.
I work on a little bit of sleep. So, it's like everybody's like, do you sleep? And I'm like, yeah, I do. But my brain doesn't shut off.
Dr. McQueen come up here and start telling us I ain't eating no breakfast, I ain't sleep. She's taking notes, but go ahead.
Dr. McQueen, I promise I'm on a quest for a healthy, fit life now. So sleep is one of the things I have to work on. I'm getting the diet and exercise and all that down, but sleep is something. The exercise, I will tell you, though, it is helping me get that extra couple hours because I was working off a little bit of sleep. But I just tell people that my brain doesn't shut off. Even when I'm asleep, it's like I'm thinking about something. What do I have to do next? Whether it be something with my children, Shout out to being about to be an empty nester. Not really, they always at home. But I have a 25-year-old son that travels most of the time with his job, and my 17-year-old daughter is here with me today. And I'm trying to get her in her direction and get her on her path. And I don't know what I'm going to do with myself then. I really don't know what I'm going to do with myself then. I'll probably add something else on to the roster after she's
something
out.
Something will find its way into that space.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I'm sure it will. So I just do it. Like Nike. Just do it.
How does it feel to be doing things that you love and that that your life was purpose for?
It just feels amazing because, like I said, it's something, sometimes you bury things, and you do it at home in secret, you write down stuff or draw, because I've always sketched and things, and watch Project Runway. I've seen every episode. So to actually be doing it now and to make it come to life is just amazing. And to get the push that I needed from other people to just say, put that foot out there and see how it works for you. I think you're going to be successful. So, sometimes you need that, and I'm running with it.
That's awesome. So tell our audience how they can follow you and where they can go and purchase their Strut gear.
All right. Right now I have the clothing on Poshmark. I have my closet open on there. You can purchase. It's Strut Toy is the closet on Poshmark.com. You can follow me on Instagram at Strut by Toy, and that does have the dots in between. So it's s.t.r.u.t.by Toy. And my email is the same. You can reach me on there. I'm also Toy Cherie on Facebook. So.
Awesome. Well, can you hang around to the end of the show?
Absolutely.
We're going to bring all the guests back and we'll close out the show together.
All right.
Sound good. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, I think next up is, and I'm going to switch it up. Next up is Dr. Yvette McQueen, live here on the Regina Sunshine Show on Regina Sunshine Global Network.
He Daylight sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your code. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius, find a balance.
Hello, everyone. You're back live with Regina Sunshine on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. I actually was going to pause because I remembered that my global picture is not on the wall behind me, so I was going to send somebody to the office to get it when my station manager was like, "You're on." So just imagine that it's there. Imagine it's there. Well, we are back with our second guest of the day. Welcome to the show, Dr. Yvette McQueen. How are you?
Hi, thank you for having me on.
Thank you for being here. You know, I always like to mention how I met someone, and I actually met you at Farai Caldwell's very first Atlanta African American Book Festival. I don't think we met. I saw you. I think before I left, I ran and gave you my card and got your card or something.
Yes.
So that we could connect. But so good to finally have you here.
Thank you.
So do this for us. Tell our audience a little bit about who you are and what you do.
My name is Yvette McQueen, MD. I'm a global physician on a mission to educate about health, travel wellness, and disease prevention. I am an emergency physician and concierge physician for travelers. So I assist and enhance people's travel by making them stay healthy and safe on their adventure. So I'm available as a private physician for individual travel groups, mission groups, or I give pre-travel consultations of what to take, what to pack during international travels. I'm available for telemedicine if you should get sick.
You know what? This is a whole, because you don't think about this Cuba trip. Yeah. We might need our own physician. They be like, we got a physician on board. No. We good. We got somebody with us. So, medicine.
Yes.
How did you decide that you wanted to be a medical doctor?
Well, it started in high school. I love biology. I love science. So in high school, when we were dissecting a cat, a friend of mine, my partner, instead of dissecting it, we also put it back together and sewed it back together. So at that point, I knew I wanted to go into medicine. I didn't know which field. But while in college, because I had to pay for my own college, I became a paramedic. Okay. And so I ended up working that field and in an emergency room as a secretary. And I was like, you know what? I kind of like this. I like the flow. I like the diversity. I really didn't like knowing about everybody's problems. I just wanted to see you, fix you, and move on.
Okay.
And that's how I got into emergency medicine.
Then that makes sense, because, you know, it's like you're in, you're out.
Yeah,
you're in,
that's
you're
it.
out.
That's it.
Well, you have a niche market, travel medicine. And until I met you, I'd never heard anybody talking about this. So how did you find your way specifically into helping people with travel and preparing for travel?
Well, it started off as an emergency physician. I was working for a hospital doing my shifts every month. And in medicine, there's something called locum tenens, or it's a temporary physician. So what I do now as an emergency physician, I actually travel around the United States and the Caribbean, and I do shift work. I do fill-in shifts, or a substitute doctor.
Okay, gotcha.
So I'll fly to Indiana, work 4 days, and fly home. I'll fly to Key West, work like 4 or 5 days, and fly home. So as a traveling physician, I had to stay healthy. You know, my livelihood is staying healthy. So I just came up with different tips and things to say, this is what I need to do when I'm on a plane, in a hotel, blah, blah, blah. And then I love to travel. That's my second passion. Well, I was traveling with groups, and everybody was always getting sick. And I always had the medicine. And I always had the little kid. And I was always taking care of them. I was like, wait a minute. Ding, 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 ding. Passion is medicine and travel. Why not combine them?
Absolutely, and add another stream of income.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what I heard when you said it. Because I I'm traveling with y'all and I'm medicating y'all for free. So let's talk about this.
Yes. Yes.
So, we're leaving on a cruise in like 2 weeks, and I got questions. So,
Okay.
What are some of your first, I'll say 1 or 2 tips that you give your travelers?
Okay, the biggest thing is hydration. I am a stickler on hydration because hydration is going to prevent you from a lot of things. So you hydrate before your trip, during your trip, and after your trip, particularly on your plane because the plane is going to dehydrate you. Also, it will reduce your risk of getting blood clots because your blood is flowing more. And if you're on the long trips of plane and you're hydrating, you're going to get up and pee, which makes you walk. It also reduces jet lag. So if you're changing time zones, staying hydrated will also reduce jet lag. So that's one. Just drink your water.
That's good to know.
Drink your water and sleep before your trip. I know most people are like, oh, I'm packing and they stay up late and I can sleep on the plane, I can sleep here. No, get your rest before your trip because a lot of people, you try to do everything all day long. Incorporate some downtime and just rest so that you're not coming back stressed and tired from your vacation.
I always say that because we try and pack so much into the vacation that you come home and you need a mini vacation from the vacation before you get back to regular life.
Just tell yourself, oh, I didn't get to do it. I'll do it next time I come here.
Absolutely. Okay. Y'all hear that, family? Because, we already planning, we like to plan our own excursions. We those folk, we're like, oh, we're not paying your excursion fee. We got our own excursion.
Great.
So, in terms of your capacities traveling with groups.
Okay.
So, is that something, you do all types of trips? Does the group just reach out to you and book you to go with them? Do you have like a preparedness, like meeting with them beforehand? What do you kind of do with the groups that you travel with?
Well, the groups I have traveled with, one of them is a luxury travel group and another one was a mission travel group. Those are different types of groups I travel with. But they can reach out to me. I am available at YvetteMcQueenMD.com. That's YvetteMcQueenMD.com. That's who I am. So I'm available. I usually need a 3 to 4 month leeway time because I make my other schedule. But because I'm my own boss, I can work around that schedule. I do give pre-travel tips. Like if I know that you're going to Ghana, I tell, okay, we know you have to have this visa. We know you have to have these vaccines to enter the country. These are what's required versus recommended so that you're not spending some costly money. These are things that you should pack in your suitcase. These are the medicines you should take with you. And if you have a special disease like diabetes or kidney disease, these are things that you need to watch out for. So I will give that pre-travel consultation. And if you want me to travel with them, I'm available to travel at a cost, and I have a passport ready to go.
I would like to have, you know what I'm saying? Something special. There's some kind of dope about saying, well, we got our own daughter. There's something pretty cool about being able to say that. So I'm thinking about even, like you mentioned, people with special situations, like my mother, for instances on oxygen.
Right.
In terms of medical supplies that normally would have to be in-house on the ship, are you able to carry those with you?
Yes, oxygen you're actually able to carry, even on the plane. You're able to carry that with you and on the ship. You just have to have a physician letter of necessity to carry with you. You give it to the plane, you give it to the shipboard. And they should also know that in case something happens, that they know when to respond and where to respond. Just kind of give them a heads up. Hey, she's in this cabin. She's always on oxygen. But now they have the small devices anyway. Yeah. So it's very doable. It's very doable. Yes.
Awesome. So you wrote a book.
Yes, I did.
Tell us about your book.
So my book, it's called Travelpedia. And it's a quick guide on how to travel efficiently, healthy, and safely. So all the little tips I like to give. First of all, particularly for first-time travelers, if you're afraid to travel, particularly out of the United States, it gives you the tips about how to get a passport, how to get through TSA, what to do, what you can take, how to pack efficiently, how to travel with toddlers. I have a chapter in that. How to eat safely internationally what to
Say it
eat
again,
safely. I mean, you can try things, but there's some things that are safely. And then, of course, some common travel illnesses, how to prepare for them, the quick tips, and then a lot of appendix has a lot of like travel apps like people like to use that are very, very helpful that I found on my trips. So this is Travelpedia, and you can get it at travelpediabook.com.
So what is, I guess, what one common travel disease or illness that people get? Is there something that you hear a lot?
Well, the life-threatening one I worry about is blood clots. And I talked about that. So if you're on long trips, you make sure that you're walking or up every two hours. So if you're on a long train ride, a car ride, like from Michigan to Atlanta is a 12-hour. I've done that trip. But you need to get out and walk every 2 to 3 hours and stay hydrated. Another common disease, people, of course, is, the nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Because a lot of times our body is used to American food, and some of it's processed, and of course the FDA controls a lot. Well, the FDA doesn't exist in other countries. It really doesn't. Simple as unpasteurized cheese in France. Now, France is a first world country, but they still have unpasteurized cheese. It tastes good, but some people can't handle that. The GI tract can't handle that. So they'll get a little nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. So that's what a lot of people run into. Those are the two most commons I see.
Wow. See, I hadn't even thought about that, the difference in the food supplies and the things, even though, our food is more processed here, but our bodies are used to it. So you go somewhere else and you eat something really rich and good, and now you're down.
Oh, yeah.
For the cow.
Or you're in Thailand trying the chocolate crickets. Yeah, no.
So you're telling us to pass by the chocolate crickets. Let's
not. No, I say if you want to go for it, just make sure you have your Imodium and maybe some Cipro with you.
Ooh, she said maybe some Cipro with you. I love this. My sister will eat this up. This conversation, Pam's she's the person that's like, okay, bring this and bring that. She heads up our travel for our family, but so she's always researching stuff like this. I thank you. What is your motion sickness? Do you have anything specific that you suggest for motion sickness?
For motion sickness, well, if it's either for the car or for the boat, if you want to do organic, you deal with ginger. So ginger is great for motion sickness. Ginger, like the little hard candy, things like that. Some people can have ginger root and put it in tea, like ginger tea. That'll help you organic. If you want to go more with the medicine, of course, they have the patch. And also the bands. Oh, no, yeah, that's not medicine, so that's organic. The bands can help keep people balanced. And then there's medicine like the meclizine. Actually, on most ships, they supply that. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you go down to the infirmary, which is usually on deck 2, all the way down.
In the belly of the beast.
Right, but on the door in the infirmary, they usually just have it like on the door where people just come pick it up.
I didn't know that. Okay, travelers, y'all hear that?
Yeah, they do.
My sister Alicia, her first cruise with us was last year, and she didn't want to go for the longest time because of motion sickness. And she had patches, and she had a rough time. She really
poor
did.
thing.
So, but she is a whole foods type person, so I'm going to suggest the ginger. That will probably
ginger candy, the little ginger candy, and ginger tea is great. She can drink that every morning and night.
That's awesome. So, for the person who gets your book, what are you hoping that they get from it? What is the takeaway that you hope that they'll be able to apply?
Well, I think of the Latin term for doctor is actually an educator. So that's what I feel myself as an educator. So this is about education to get the book. So one, they won't be afraid to travel. And they can say, I'm going to plan this, even if you're just going to plan a weekend trip across the state. It's about self-care, sometimes travel. It's about taking care of yourself, saying that you're worth walking away from, okay, I'm going to just stay in a hotel tonight and just be here and feel good about it and not worry about anything else. So that's why I wanted to take away that travel can be fun and enlightening, and it's a way to treat yourself, being human.
So since you mentioned that, let's talk about the mental health piece here in terms of travel and sleep and everything else. In our community, for a long time, it's been a very taboo thing to talk about mental health. And for that reason, a lot of people in our community have suffered because they haven't been able to, they haven't felt empowered to go and get that assistance or get that help or ask those questions. What would you say to our audience in terms of the importance of taking care of our mental health?
It's our mental health. The brain actually controls the whole body. So not only does it control like the heart and the lungs, it's also controlling our emotions and feelings, which is going to make us get up in the morning and do what we need to do and survive. So it's important to take care of your mental health. First, you have to recognize it, because a lot of people don't recognize they actually are either depressed or actually have small problems, or they like, you know, like you say in our community, like, girl, just handle it, just pull up your britches, or go talk to the pastor, you be okay, be like, pray about it. Okay, prayer's good. I have nothing wrong with prayer. I am a Christian, I pray. But sometimes you need the external. Sometimes you need the objective for someone that don't know you to discuss it. Someone that can guide you to say, not only you have the problem, but why you have the problem. And not all of it is fixed with medicine. Sometimes it is just talking it out or changing your lifestyle so that you are not always butting your head against the brick wall. So, I mean, mental health is very important. Actually, it's in every community, and it's not talked about, even in physicians. So last year they said there were 747 physicians that committed suicide. And no one talks about that. No one talks about that.
I think that some of the leaders are pastors and physicians.
Yes.
From what I've heard.
Yes, yes. So mental health, just having a source. So self-care, knowing you are worth it, and having a source you can go to. And whether it's a friend that you know that will be there for you thick and thin, life and death, or a person that don't know you, and yes, you may have to pay, but most insurances pay for things right now, even counseling sessions. So it doesn't have to be a psychiatrist. There's family counselors and child counselors and marriage counselors. There's single women counselors. Women that say, why am I 50 and still single? There's counselors out there for you to understand that it is not your fault.
Absolutely. So how does travel play a role in us having great mental health?
For me, travel releases me. It gives me adventure. And sometimes I can be somebody else. So a lot of times I travel by myself. I'm a solo travel because I have friends that are married and kids and they can't take the time off. So I'll say, okay, for my birthday, I want to treat myself, so I'm going to book this trip to France, And so it separates me from my real life a little bit, especially with emergency medicine. I deal with life and death, and so I do have to have downtime. And I know after 20 years of doing it, I have to build my downtime in and not internalize everything. So as far as mentally, travel kind of releases me and gives me a joy. So it's my passion. So
I love that. I'm glad you said, and you mentioned earlier that, sometimes we have to recognize that I'm worth the time. I'm worth the money. I'm worth whatever it is to make sure that I take care of me completely. So I'm glad you said that, because also, especially as women, we feel guilty.
Yes.
Taking time away from family and working everything else to do something for us, when we have to recognize if we don't take care of us, we can't take care of everything and everybody else.
And simple things too. Like I said, there's times when I am stressed. And I admit I have stress. I will actually drive 20 minutes away, check in a hotel, get room service for the night.
I'm about that life. I really am.
Next morning, I'm great.
I love it. I love it. Well, tell our audience where they can get your book again and how they can follow you on social media.
Okay, I'm on all social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, at Yvette McQueen, MD. That's YVETTEMCQUEEN, MD. My website is YvetteMcQueenMD.com. You can get me for all my services, and there's a shop there for the book, or you can go to TravelpediaBook.com.
Awesome. Do you have time to hang around to the end of the show?
I do.
Awesome. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to meet our final guest of the day. She's all the way from Greenwood? You Charlotte now? I didn't know that. Charlotte, North Carolina. Miss Robin McDuffie will be back here with me in just a second on the Regina Sunshine Show here at Regina Sunshine Global Network.
He daylight sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your code. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius. Find a balance, Libra. Get rid of y'all's crab mentality.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show, where Regina Sunshine Global Network. And we have our final guest of the day. Welcome to the show, Miss Robin McDuffie.
Thank you for having me, Regina.
So good to have you here.
Yes.
You know, I like to mention how I met someone, and I lived in Greenwood for 17 years, but I'm trying to figure out, did we ever meet face to face in Greenwood?
At Tabernacle Baptist Church.
All right then.
That's where I grew up, and you and your family attended there.
Were you there today? My son was in the pulpit with the pastor. That's what most people tell me. They remember the Sunday that Pastor Hughes preached with my son in his arms.
I do remember that.
Everybody talks about that.
I do remember
because,
that.
you know, he would never stop crying.
That's okay.
He would never stop crying in church.
He made himself known.
And I'm telling you something, and you know, and I have to say this before we get started. You know how the ushers trying to come get your baby. My husband was like, "Don't touch my baby. Don't touch my baby." He was like, "Don't touch it." And that day, I was so frustrated that we decided to leave. And Pastor Marvin Hughes ran out of the pulpit and chased us down in the parking lot and took Gabriel from us and walked back in the church into the pulpit with my son in his arms.
I do remember.
And he preached the word that day with my son in his arms. I will never forget it. It was one of those things where you really feel love.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I felt so loved that day because he ran out of church.
Yes.
To come and get us.
He
So
was
shout out to the Hugheses.
Yeah, he's that type of person. They're wonderful
He
people.
is. They is. Well, you know, everything's new. So I want you to tell everybody a little bit about your background and some of this new stuff you got going on.
Well, I'm Robin McDuffie, originally from Greenwood, South Carolina. So shout out to Greenwood. I'm a high school counselor by day. So I've been in education. This is my 14th year. I work in Monroe, North Carolina at Sun Valley High School. So shout out to Sun Valley High School. And I worked in Richland 1 for years. So shout out to Richland 1 as well. So I experienced a tremendous amount of loss between 2013 and 2015. In 2013, my mother and stepfather passed away in August of 2013. My mother had cancer and my stepfather had kidney failure. So, and they were kind of sudden, but, you know, kind of not, because I watched my mother suffer that whole summer. And so, of course, you know, it took a toll on me. So, you know, 3 months later, I had an aunt, my mother's oldest sister, my Aunt Homazella, that helped raise me during my teenage years. She suddenly had a stroke and passed away. So, to add, I guess I would say insult to injury, my uncle, who was my mother's last surviving sibling, he passed away suddenly 2 years later from a heart attack. So, losing all of those people, it was a domino effect for me in my grieving process. And so, you know, I really fell into a dark place. And so writing my book really helped me get out of that dark place. And I still have moments. I miss them. But, you know, for the most part, I'm out of that dark place. So I wrote my book, Resurrecting the Living. And it's about my personal journey with grief, loss, and depression. And so I wrote this book as a therapy, as a catharsis for myself, but also to help others that struggle with grief and loss. I also have my own business, Roblin McDuffie Life Coaching LLC, which I will be launching soon. I have the office and everything. The website is still under construction. Thank you. The website is still under construction. So the business is in its infancy, but my focus is specifically bereavement coaching, helping people that are struggling with grief and loss.
Wow. You said a lot in a little bit of time. Let's go back to the education piece.
Okay.
Well, the book is beautiful, first of all.
Thank
I don't know who was the photographer.
Her name is Erica Holyfield. She's based out of Fort Mill, South Carolina.
Honey, she did that. That's
Yes.
a beautiful cover.
Show it again.
Yes. So how did you get into counseling?
So, at the time that I became a school counselor, I was working for a nonprofit organization where we went into the schools and we did character education and teen pregnancy prevention. And so I was trying to decide my career path because I had finished undergrad, and I was like, well, I want to get my master's in something. And so long story short, I valued the one-on-one conversations that I had with students. And I said, I need to be a counselor. I knew I didn't want to be a teacher or an administrator, so I went into school counseling.
Well, that has to be rewarding to be able to be in a space where these students can open up and they can share.
Yes.
Because they're going through some stuff.
They are. I see it and hear it all every day. So, and, you know, I love them. I don't judge them, and they're my babies.
They need it because, you know, well, I quit my job June 30th, but before that I was working in education. My last assignment was Mays High School.
Okay.
And I tell everybody, you need to go and volunteer in the schools, first of all, because you really have no idea what's going on inside those hallways until you go, because it was really culture shock for me to walk through the doors and you hear students having conversations that we used to turn off when an adult was present. They don't turn them off.
Right.
And they're talking about real, you do what happens at your house every day.
Yes.
And so
I
don't think most people have a real grasp of what our young people are facing.
They don't.
What are some of the things that you see that they're facing that we really need to know about?
Well, I see it runs the gamut. I see, of course, suicidal ideation, sexual abuse as a child, mom or dad abandoning them, so they have to get up every morning, get themselves dressed and their brother and sister dressed and fed. Homelessness, depression, all types of mental illnesses. I see all of that.
Wow.
So I'm always making mental health referrals. I mean, it's probably in a week there are probably 2 or 3 children, sometimes more, that I want to take, that I wish I could take home with me because they're going through so much at home.
Yes.
So,
and like I said, most people don't have a clue. I remember last summer, was it last summer? We did a camp at Mays, and there were 2 young people in the camp that we discovered were homeless. You would just not know, but we kind of, you know how you kind of pay attention and some things just don't quite. And then finally, you know, we kind of got it out of them that they were homeless, and so they were making a real effort to come to this camp every day because they wanted to eat.
Right.
And it's right in front of us, but most people just have no clue what's going on. So thank you for the work you're doing, because it's so needed. Our young people need to know there is a safe space and someone who loves them. Like you said, it won't judge them, just allow them to talk about these things. Right. Moving into your book and why you wrote the book, I remember being a friend of yours on social media from a distance, watching you go through.
Oh, wow.
Because you were very transparent about your hurt and your loss. And I'm thankful for that, because there are people, even though you might not have known, you were doing it for your own mental health. There are people who are watching who needed to know, okay, Robin's making it, and if she can make it, what? I can make it too.
Right.
What was it, was it a deliberate thing for you to be as transparent as you were on social media, or it was just, like I said, for your own mental health?
It was a little bit of both. It helped me to be transparent on social media, but my mother also taught me to just be open. And just be a transparent person in general, because, you know, some people say, oh, you tell too much, but I look at it from a different perspective. I look at it as, you know, you're helping yourself but you're also helping other people. Because when you speak out about something that's going on in your life or what you're experiencing, you know, somebody else might say, oh, well, I'm not alone in this.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I'm going through, you know, somebody else is going through what I'm going through. So, you know, I don't feel as alone in what I'm going through. So.
Do you get people who reach out to you and say that, Robin, thank you, I've been going through the same thing and it was helpful for me to know I wasn't alone?
Yes, all the time, especially when I was early in my grieving process, and even a couple of years after, and even every once in a while now since I've written the book. So yeah, people reach out to me and they say, oh, you know, your words changed my life. Keep on inspiring us. You know, and sometimes I want to give up because sometimes I have the naysayers, of course, like I mentioned a few seconds ago, that say, oh, you saying too much. You're putting too much out there. You know, you need to hold some back. And I'm like, well, no, it's changing people positively. So.
And that's what's important.
Yeah.
So you said the book was therapeutic for you.
Yes.
It's something. So when you started writing it, did you know it was something you would release, or was it just personal writing?
Initially, it was personal writing. The more I started writing it, like I said, being the transparent person I am, I was like, you know, depending on how this work goes, you know, as I write it, depending on how it all flows, once I get it on paper, I think I may have it published because, again, it may change someone's life. Even if it changes one life, you know, it may change somebody.
So it's brand new. Has it? You haven't even had your book signing yet. No. So is it already for sale?
It is for sale. It's for sale on Amazon. It's also for sale at roblinmcduffie.com.
That's a beautiful picture again. That's a beautiful book.
Thank you. That's ROBLYNNEMCDUFFIE.com. So it is for sale there. On my website is $11 plus $3 shipping. On Amazon, I will be honest, it is a little bit higher, so I would suggest purchasing it from me. So, yes.
So what has the response been so far from those who've read the book?
So far, people have said they have cried and laughed, and they are really touched by my story so far.
So do you think, or have you already been thinking about writing again?
Yes, I've already started on a second book about my journey with self-esteem. Because I used to have a low self-esteem about, you know, about my weight and being plus size, but now I love who I am. So I haven't really come up with a title yet, but it's going to be something like Loving Me Unapologetically or something like that.
I love it. I love it. So when you were in the stages where you were writing the book, and like I said, you mentioned before, some people say you're telling too much or whatever, and you had it written, and then you were looking back at it. Do you feel like you told just what you wanted to tell? In other words, when you finished the book, you're like, oh, this is what was supposed to be in here.
Yes. When I got to the point where I was like, okay, this is all that I need to say and all that I want out. And, yeah, that's when I knew it was time to start the publishing and editing process.
Awesome. Yeah. So you got this new coaching business that you're getting started.
Yes.
What are your goals for the coaching business?
So for the coaching business, I would say, just like the other young lady from earlier, the sky's the limit. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm based out of the Charlotte, North Carolina area, the Ayersley area, which is like South Charlotte for those of you who don't know. However, I also am open to coaching through Skype. So I can coach anybody from anywhere in the United States, internationally, anywhere. So I want to go international. And I want to help people internationally.
I love it. So in terms of your coaching business, what are some of the areas you focus on in terms of coaching?
So in terms of coaching, like I said, overall it's bereavement and loss. Also assisting my clients with, you know, some people say, oh, you need to get over it and, you know, get over your loss, in other words. And it's not that easy, you know, depending on who it is, the circumstances, all of that. You know, just giving them a safe space to teach them some techniques in terms of, okay, grieving in their own healthy way, because everybody grieves differently and everybody's timeline is different. So just giving them various activities. I don't know if I'm going to end up like a Yanla, like that type of life coach, but kind of sort of the Yanla of bereavement coaching.
I like that a lot.
So,
I do.
But in a gentle manner, you know, because grief is such a delicate subject.
And very personal.
And it's very personal.
Very personal. You know, what do you say to those people who approach you, or even somebody else be like, you know, it's been long enough. Just, you know, why can't you just get over it?
Well, you know, that's your opinion. You know, that's what I say to them. That's your opinion. Obviously, you haven't been through the type of loss I've been through. So, you know, I don't get too upset. I used to get upset with people who said things like that. But if they haven't been through, they really don't get it.
Yes.
So.
I guess I don't get the insensitivity.
Yeah.
Because I always say, you know, when people go through something, people say, well, I understand how you feel. And I always say, if you have not been through the exact same thing, then you don't understand. And so you have to give people space to move the way they need to move for them. Right. Do you think that this book, this coaching, this is your purpose? This is a part of what God put you here for?
Most definitely. I'm very passionate about coaching in terms of bereavement and just helping people. Like I said, help people understand that they're not alone in this process. If they don't have a support system, as their coach, I'm their support system. You know, whether they have a support system or not. So
awesome. Let's talk about legacy. You know, when you know you are 90 years old, you begin to look back over your life. What is the legacy you hope that Robin McDuffie has left behind?
That I've inspired many people. Just, you know, right now the focus is bereavement, but, you know, throughout my lifetime it may change into various things. Like I said, my second book is about my journey with self-esteem. And so I just want to, I feel like God's purpose for me on this earth is to just inspire people in various ways. So I just want to inspire before I expire. So
I like that. Inspire before I expire. Somebody hashtag that. Hashtag that, Christine. Inspire before you expire.
Now, I ain't trying to expire no time soon, but I'm just saying.
Well, tell our audience again where they can get your book and how they can follow you on social media.
Okay, so my book, you can order my book at roblynnmcduffie.com. That's ROBLYNNEMCDUFFIE.com. You can also follow me. My Facebook page is Roblyn McDuffie, author, life coach, and motivational speaker. I'm also on Instagram, Roblyn the Writer.
Roblyn the Writer. Awesome. Well, you're going to hang around. We're going to bring the other two back and we'll finish out together?
Yes.
Sounds good. Well, we're going to take a quick break and we will have our other guests come and close out the show with us. You're live with Regina Sunshine here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network.
He daylights sun rays when his guitar blazed to expose those who try to destroy dreams. They was like he sings, but we can't say he's an MC. He MCs, but we can't say he's a singer. Oh, and he plucks strings like he's in the dreams of gods. They try to box him up, but you can't contain passion. You can't pour a cup of water to put out the sun. Sorry he don't fit your mold. He's too hot to fit your cold. You ain't gotta sign him to your deal. He just learned how to flow with the signs. Aquarius. Find a balance. Libra. Get rid of y'all's crab mentality. Cancer. Each guitar strum is chemo to y'all's diseased way of thinking. So don't you ever stop. Don't you ever stop. Never stop. So they'll never have to ask.
All right, you guys, you're back live on the air at Regina Sunshine, here on the Regina Sunshine Show at Regina Sunshine Global Network. That's a lot of Regina Sunshines. And we have all of our guests back with me now to help close out the show. And for those who've been watching the show for a while, you know, I like to bring my guests back so we can end the show giving our audience some words of encouragement. So my question of the day, ladies, is this. All of you are combining careers along with passions and purpose and other things. And there are women who are watching right now and they're like, that sounds good, but I just don't see how I can step out and make any of this happen in my current life. And so I want you guys to tell them one practical thing, one tip, one suggestion for how they can get started moving towards pursuing whatever that purpose is. And so we'll start with Dr. McQueen.
One step to pursue your passion is to know what your passion is.
Yes.
Okay. So, and it's about baby steps. So don't try to conquer the world in the next week. And it's okay if it takes you 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years. Just be happy with yourself and know what your passion is. And it's one step.
Awesome. Ms. McDuffie?
So I would say learn how to say no, because you have a lot on your plate, and it is challenging. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot to work in a career and be fulfilling your passion. So, you know, say no and know your limits. And when I say no, that means say no to people that may say, oh, I need you to do this or do that. If it's going to take time away from your passion and your career, particularly your passion, then say no. Don't be afraid.
That's a good one. That whole say no piece for women. It has to be a say no class. No, I can't cook y'all a cake for the bake sale next week.
Right.
No, I can't
That's
come
right.
and, you know, hand out hot dogs. I love what y'all doing, but I got to say no this time, right?
That's right.
Awesome.
And for me, I would just tell them to just step out on faith. I mean, you got to take that first initial step. You know, we don't know what the outcome is going to be. It can be great, and we may fall, but, you know, you always have the opportunity to get back up and keep, you know, dust yourself off and just keep it moving. So if you're passionate about something, you know, look into how to execute it, how to make it happen, and go ahead and leap out there and put yourself in that setting, and more than likely it'll work out for you.
I love it. Motivation. You know, different people find motivation in different areas. Some people listen to YouTube videos. Some people read certain books. Some people pray and meditate. Share with our audience something you do personally that keeps you motivated towards pursuing your dream.
I journal. I believe in writing my thoughts down daily. The journal that I have right now is actually related to scripture, so there's a scripture every day, and I try to do my day or my journaling around that scripture. But you don't have to do it that way. But writing my thoughts down keeps me motivated, moving forward. It gives me the direction that I need, and just actually talking to people and, you know, making myself transparent as well. So.
Awesome. Robin?
So I would say calling somebody up on the phone, strong support system. I'm big on that. So if I'm going through something, I'll call my god sister or my significant other and be like, listen, I need somebody to talk to. And they're there, and they listen and or give advice, sound advice. So having that support system is very important.
That's very important. Dr. McQueen?
My motivation is I call them my babies. They're my great nieces and nephews. Hey, Colton. So they're 4, 6 months, and 1 month.
Wow.
But so when I need some juice in me, I FaceTime with my babies, and they're just so loving no matter what, especially the 4-year-old when I teach him something and the light bulb lights up in his eyes. So I'm leaving a legacy for them.
That's awesome. Well, I thank y'all for sharing. I know somebody's listening needed to hear that. And one of the reasons I do this is because we all have different perspectives, and you got an audience with a whole bunch of different perspectives. And somebody's going to say something that somebody out there needs to hear. So thank you for sharing your stories and being so transparent today.
Thank
to
you
our
so
audience.
much for having me.
To my audience, I leave you with the words I always leave you with. Remember this: God loves you just the way you are. You are beautiful because you were created in love. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. You have the seeds of greatness within you. You were born to live a victorious life. You are brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. You are worthy of the best things in life. Make sure you guys tune in next week. We'll be right back here, 12 noon, our new time. I didn't even shout out my sponsors today. It was so much, see? I knew there was something I forgot. Shout out to my sponsor for the Regina Sunshine Show, Bold Favorite Magazine and Leading Through Living Community. And even though she's sponsoring Miss Barbara Baylor's show, shout out to Strut for being a new sponsor with Regina Sunshine Global Network. And again, you guys, we were having the cover release for our fall issue of Bold Plus Magazine this Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. at JR Cricket's MLK. Come out. It's free. All you have to do is purchase a magazine, of course, and come and celebrate with us as we round out our first year. 4 issues of Bold Plus Magazine. All right, so final words of the day, my personal motto. I always say it's not over till I win. If I hadn't won yet, that just means it's not over. So I tell you today, it's not over till you win. If you hadn't won yet, baby, that just means it's not over. Be blessed and keep winning. We're out.